Before March 14 arrives, there is something happening in the sky that almost nobody is talking about. And the last time this exact cosmic alignment happened was nearly 165 years ago. The Sun is about to meet Neptune, and astrologers believe this rare moment can reveal hidden truths, awaken intuition, and completely shift the energy around us. But what does it actually mean for you? Stay with me, because what happens between March 12 and March 14 may not be a coincidence. Before we begin, take a moment and really listen to what you are about to hear, because the cosmic atmosphere between March 12 and March 14 is not ordinary. Something subtle, powerful, and deeply spiritual is unfolding above us. The Sun, the center of our solar system and the symbol of our consciousness, identity, and life force, is moving into an exact meeting with Neptune, the planet of dreams, illusions, intuition, spirituality, and hidden realms. When these two energies come together, the boundary between the visible world and the invisible world becomes thinner than usual. And what makes this moment even more extraordinary is that this particular alignment is happening in a way that has not been experienced in about 165 years. For most people, life during these few days may feel strange, emotional, mysterious, or even surreal. You may feel as if something is shifting internally, even if you cannot explain it logically. That is because the Sun represents clarity and truth, while Neptune dissolves structure and pulls us into the deeper waters of imagination, spirituality, and hidden truths. When the Sun shines directly on Neptune's domain, illusions can break apart, secrets can surface, and spiritual awakenings can occur. But this alignment does not always reveal truth in an obvious way. Sometimes Neptune clouds things before revealing them. It can blur boundaries between reality and fantasy. This is why some people may feel confused, emotionally overwhelmed, or extremely sensitive during this time. You may notice your dreams becoming vivid. You may feel drawn to spiritual ideas, meditation, or deep reflection. Some people may suddenly feel a strong urge to withdraw from noise and chaos and search for meaning inside themselves. The energy building between March 12 and March 14 is like a cosmic fog rolling across the sky. Inside that fog are messages, realizations, and emotional truths that have been hidden for a long time. The Sun acts like a light shining through the mist. As the light grows stronger, things that were once hidden may slowly begin to appear. This is why many astrologers believe this period is not just about confusion or illusion, it is about revelation. The Sun illuminating Neptune can expose deception, break emotional illusions, and reveal truths about people, situations, and even ourselves that we may have avoided seeing before. Something that once seemed magical may suddenly show its real nature, or something that felt ordinary may suddenly reveal a deeper spiritual meaning. For some people, this alignment can feel like waking up from a long dream. Imagine walking through life believing something is one way and then suddenly realizing that the truth is completely different. Neptune rules illusions, fantasies, and sometimes self-deception. When the Sun shines on Neptune, the light can dissolve those illusions. This does not mean the experience will always be comfortable. Sometimes the truth arrives quietly but powerfully. It may come through an emotional realization, a dream that feels too meaningful to ignore, or a moment when your intuition suddenly becomes incredibly clear. Between March 12 and March 14, many people may also notice that their intuition becomes stronger. Neptune governs psychic sensitivity and spiritual awareness. When the Sun energizes this planet, the mind may become more receptive to subtle signals. You might suddenly sense something about a situation or a person without being able to explain how you know. Your inner voice may become louder than usual, but this alignment also carries a warning. Neptune's energy can create illusions just as easily as it reveals truth. During these days, it will be important to stay grounded. Not every feeling or thought that arises will be accurate. Some may be projections of fear or imagination. This is why slowing down, observing your emotions, and avoiding impulsive decisions is essential. Think of this period as walking through a dreamlike landscape. Beautiful insights may appear, but clarity will come slowly. If you rush, you might misinterpret the message. Another powerful effect of the Sun meeting Neptune is emotional release. Neptune rules the ocean, and emotionally it behaves the same way. Old feelings that have been buried beneath the surface may begin to rise. Memories you thought were long gone may suddenly appear in your mind. This can happen because the Sun is shining light on the deepest layers of the subconscious. Some people may cry without fully understanding why. Others may feel an overwhelming sense of compassion or empathy for people around them. Neptune dissolves the barriers between individuals, reminding us that we are all connected in ways we often forget. This is also why creativity tends to surge during Sun-Neptune alignments. Artists, musicians, writers, and dreamers often feel inspired when these energies combine. Neptune opens the doorway to imagination, while the Sun provides the energy to express it. Ideas may flow in unexpected ways. If you are someone who creates, this could be a moment when inspiration arrives, almost like a whisper from somewhere beyond the ordinary mind. However, not everyone will experience this alignment in the same way. For some, it will feel like a gentle spiritual awakening. For others, it may feel like confusion or emotional sensitivity. And for a few, it could trigger a powerful realization that changes the way they see their life path. The reason this moment feels so significant is that Neptune moves extremely slowly through the zodiac. When the Sun meets Neptune at this specific degree, it activates a cycle that has been building quietly for years. Many astrologers believe that collective realizations can happen during this time, not just personal ones. Hidden truths in the world may begin surfacing. Narratives people believed for years could start unraveling. Things that once seemed certain may begin to look uncertain. But the deeper purpose of this alignment is not chaos, it is awakening. Neptune dissolves illusions so that a higher truth can emerge. Sometimes we hold on to ideas, relationships, or beliefs that are not aligned with who we are becoming. When the Sun meets Neptune, it shines a light into those places and gently asks a question: what is real and what is only a dream? For many people watching this video, the days between March 12 and March 14 may bring moments of reflection that feel strangely meaningful. You might notice repeating signs, meaningful coincidences, or intuitive nudges guiding you towards something you hadn't noticed before. It may not happen in a dramatic way. Often Neptune speaks quietly. A simple conversation could trigger a realization. A dream could leave you thinking about it all day. A sudden feeling could guide you toward making a change you have been avoiding. And here is the most important thing to understand about this rare cosmic meeting. The Sun represents the light of awareness, while Neptune represents the infinite ocean of the subconscious. When these two forces meet, awareness enters the ocean. And as this cosmic moment continues to unfold, something even deeper begins to happen inside the collective energy of the world. The meeting of the Sun and Neptune does not simply pass like an ordinary astrological event. It creates a doorway, a brief opening where the unseen becomes slightly more visible, where the emotional and spiritual layers of life rise closer to the surface. During March 12 through March 14, many people may begin noticing strange emotional shifts that seem to come out of nowhere. You might wake up feeling unusually reflective, thinking about your past, your purpose, or the direction your life is taking. This is not random. Neptune governs the deeper waters of the psyche, the parts of us that store dreams, memories, intuition, and spiritual longing. When the Sun shines its powerful light into that ocean, those hidden currents begin to move. For some people, this can feel like a wave of clarity after a long period of confusion. Something that once felt uncertain may suddenly make sense. A decision you were struggling with might feel obvious. A person whose intentions once seemed mysterious may reveal their true nature through a simple action or conversation. This is how Neptune works when illuminated by the Sunday. The fog begins to thin, but for others, the process may begin with the opposite feeling. Before clarity appears, Neptune sometimes pulls us deeper into emotional reflection. You may find yourself questioning things that you normally never question. Your beliefs, your goals, even your relationships may come under quiet examination within your mind. It can feel like standing in front of a mirror that reflects not only who you are now, but who you have been and who you are becoming. And this is why this alignment can be so transformative. It doesn't just show you the outer world differently, it invites you to see yourself differently. There is also a strong spiritual vibration around these days. Neptune is often associated with mysticism, compassion, and the invisible connections between people. When the Sun activates this energy, many individuals feel drawn toward deeper meaning. Some people may feel an urge to pray, meditate, journal, or spend time in silence. Others may feel compelled to help someone, forgive someone, or release emotional weight they have been carrying for years. This is because Neptune dissolves boundaries. It reminds us that the walls we build around our emotions, our fears, and even our identities are often thinner than we think. Under this influence, empathy can grow stronger. You may suddenly understand someone's pain in a way you never did before. You may feel compassion towards someone you once judged harshly. And yet, the Sun's presence ensures that this compassion is not blind. It brings awareness into Neptune's emotional waters. That means the kindness that arises now can be wise, not naive. Another powerful effect of this cosmic meeting is the awakening of intuition. Many people underestimate the quiet voice inside them that often knows the truth long before the mind does. Neptune governs that voice. It governs the subtle feeling that something is right or wrong even when there is no logical evidence yet. During this alignment, that inner voice can become much louder. You may sense when someone is being genuine or when something feels off. You may suddenly understand why certain events in your life unfolded the way they did. Sometimes the realization appears in a flash, like a moment of deep knowing that stops you in your tracks. These realizations may not feel dramatic at first, but later you may look back and realize that something shifted within you during these days. On a larger scale, events in the world may also carry a Neptunian tone. Neptune rules secrets, hidden truths, and illusions that exist within society. When the sun shines on Neptune, things that were concealed may slowly come into view. Information that was once hidden could begin surfacing. Narratives that once seemed unquestionable may start to dissolve. However, Neptune rarely reveals everything immediately. Instead, it plants seeds of awareness. The full truth sometimes unfolds gradually over time. This is why patience is important during this period. The insights you receive may continue unfolding long after March 14 has passed. Another reason this alignment feels so powerful is because the sun represents identity. It represents who we believe ourselves to be. Neptune, on the other hand, represents the dissolving of identity. When these two energies meet, the universe quietly asks a profound question. Are you living as your true self, or are you living inside a story that no longer belongs to you? For some people, the answer to that question may appear suddenly. They may realize they have been following a path chosen by expectations, fear, or old habits rather than their authentic calling. Others may realize they have been underestimating themselves, hiding their creativity, compassion, or spiritual insight because they were afraid of standing out. When the sun meets Neptune, these hidden parts of the self can begin rising into awareness. The part of you that dreams, imagines, and believes in something greater may start asking for more space in your life. That is why many spiritual teachers say Neptune does not simply dissolve illusions, it dissolves the false self. And once the false self begins to fade, the real one slowly emerges. You may notice this in small ways first. Perhaps you feel less interested in things that once consumed your attention. Maybe certain conversations or environments suddenly feel draining rather than exciting. At the same time, new interests or ideas may begin pulling you forward in ways that feel strangely natural. This is the quiet redirection of Neptune. It rarely forces change. Instead, it gently guides you toward a deeper alignment with your inner truth. So if during these days you feel emotional, reflective, inspired, or even slightly confused, understand that you are moving through a very unique cosmic atmosphere. The sun is shining into the deepest waters of the sky, and those waters reflect the deepest parts of the human soul. Sometimes we need moments like this to step out of the noise of everyday life and reconnect with something more meaningful. Because the truth is, many people move through life distracted by routines, responsibilities, and constant information. They rarely stop long enough to listen to their intuition or question the direction they are moving. But when the sun meets Neptune, the universe slows things down just enough for reflection to happen. It is like standing on the shore of a vast ocean at sunrise. The light touches the surface of the water, and for a moment everything becomes still. In that stillness, you can finally see the depth beneath the waves. And as this rare alignment continues moving through the sky, something even more profound begins to unfold in the background of our lives. The energy of the sun meeting Neptune does not simply pass like a quick spark in the heavens. Instead, it slowly spreads through our emotional and spiritual awareness, almost like ripples moving across the surface of a still lake. Between March 12 and March 14, many people may begin sensing that time itself feels slightly different. Moments may feel longer, thoughts may wander deeper, conversations may suddenly carry meanings that feel more significant than usual. This is the subtle influence of Neptune expanding the inner world while the sun illuminates it. For some, this period may feel like standing between two realities. One reality is the familiar world of routines, responsibilities, and practical concerns. The other is a quieter, deeper dimension where intuition, dreams, and hidden emotions begin speaking more clearly. The sun acts as the bridge between these two worlds during this alignment. And when that bridge opens, people often start noticing signs that feel strangely meaningful. You might encounter the same message repeatedly in different forms. A phrase you hear in a conversation might echo something you read earlier that day. A dream might mirror a situation happening in your waking life, These experiences are not always coincidences. Neptune is often associated with synchronicity, the mysterious alignment of events that seem too perfectly timed to ignore. During this cosmic window, your subconscious mind becomes far more active than usual. Even if you are not aware of it consciously, your inner self may be processing emotions, memories, and realizations that have been quietly building for months, sometimes even years. The sun's light simply brings those processes closer to the surface. Some people may experience a strong desire to step away from noise and distraction during this time. Loud environments, constant news, and overwhelming information may suddenly feel draining. This happens because Neptune encourages sensitivity. Your mind and emotions may crave quiet spaces where reflection becomes possible. If you feel that pull towards silence, it is not something to ignore. Often, the most powerful insights arrive when the mind becomes calm enough to hear them. At the same time, there is another side to this alignment that many people overlook. While Neptune dissolves illusions and opens the door to spiritual awareness, it can also expose areas where we have been avoiding the truth. Sometimes the dreams we build around certain situations begin to fade under the sun's illumination. A relationship that once felt magical may reveal hidden imbalances. A goal that once seemed exciting may suddenly feel empty. A belief you carried for years may no longer feel aligned with who you are becoming. This does not mean something is going wrong. In fact, it often means something is finally becoming clear. Neptune has a way of slowly guiding people toward authenticity. It removes the emotional fog that once allowed us to stay comfortable inside illusions. But once the fog lifts, we are faced with a choice. We can either return to the old illusion, or we can accept the truth that has been revealed. Many people watching this video may find themselves standing at that exact crossroads during these days. You might feel an inner voice asking questions you have avoided before. Are you truly following the path that fulfills you? Are the people around you supporting your growth or quietly holding you back? Are you living according to your own truth or according to expectations placed upon you by others? These are not easy questions, but the sun meeting Neptune creates the perfect atmosphere for them to emerge. There is also a powerful creative energy surrounding this alignment. Neptune rules imagination, dreams, music, art, and storytelling. When the sun energizes this planet, creativity often flows in ways that feel almost magical. Writers may suddenly find words pouring onto the page. Musicians may hear melodies forming effortlessly in their minds. Artists may feel inspired to create images that seem to come from somewhere beyond ordinary thought. Even if you do not consider yourself a creative person, this influence can still appear in subtle ways. You might imagine new possibilities for your future. You might suddenly visualize solutions to problems that once felt impossible to solve. This is because Neptune expands the mind beyond its usual limits. It reminds us that reality is not always as fixed as we believe. Another important aspect of this alignment is compassion. Neptune dissolves the walls that separate people emotionally. During this period, many individuals may feel a deeper connection to others, even strangers. You might feel moved by someone's story in a way that touches your heart more deeply than usual. Acts of kindness may feel more meaningful. In a world that often feels divided and chaotic, this energy can act like a quiet reminder that empathy still exists beneath the surface. And perhaps that is one of the hidden gifts of this cosmic event. While it reveals truths and dissolves illusions, it also reconnects us with the softer parts of our humanity. As the sun continues moving past Neptune after March 14, the intense fog of this alignment will slowly begin to lift. Clarity will return. Decisions that once felt uncertain may become easier to make, but the realizations that arrive during these days will not disappear. They will remain in the background of your awareness, guiding the next steps of your journey. Sometimes astrology is not about predicting dramatic external events. Sometimes it is about understanding the quiet moments when something shifts inside us. And as we move deeper into this extraordinary window between March 12 and March 14, something subtle but powerful begins to shift, not only within individuals, but within the collective energy surrounding us all. The sun slowly moving across Neptune's position creates a moment where awareness begins touching parts of life that were once hidden beneath layers of distraction, fear, or illusion. For many people, this period may feel like an emotional awakening that arrives quietly. It may not come with dramatic events or loud announcements. Instead, it may appear through small but meaningful realizations that suddenly change how you see certain parts of your life. You might notice yourself thinking about a decision you made months or even years ago and suddenly understanding why it happened. Something that once felt confusing may begin to make perfect sense. This is one of the deeper mysteries of Neptune. It rules time in a very unusual way. Neptune connects past, present, and future through emotion and intuition rather than logic. When the sun illuminates Neptune, memories can return not to trap you in the past, but to show you the lesson hidden inside them. During these days, some people may feel the urge to forgive someone they once held resentment toward. Others may feel ready to release guilt or regret that has been quietly weighing on them for years. Emotional healing can begin in ways that feel almost unexpected, as if something inside you has finally decided it is time to let go. At the same time, Neptune also awakens imagination about the future. While it reveals truths about the past, it also opens the door to new visions about what your life could become. Some people may suddenly feel inspired to change direction in subtle ways. It might begin with a thought that appears quietly in your mind. Maybe there is more to your path than what you've been following. That thought alone can be the beginning of transformation. Many spiritual traditions throughout history have described moments when human consciousness becomes more receptive to deeper awareness. Astrologers often associate those moments with powerful alignments like the sun meeting Neptune. It is not simply about planets in the sky. It is about the symbolic mirror they create for our inner world. Neptune represents the part of the soul that longs for something greater than routine existence. It represents dreams, purpose, and the mysterious feeling that life contains meaning beyond what we see on the surface. When the sun touches that energy, the longing becomes stronger. Some viewers may suddenly feel drawn to learning something spiritual or philosophical that they had never considered before. Others may feel a renewed sense of purpose in helping people, creating something meaningful, or following a passion that once felt unrealistic. But Neptune rarely pushes people with force. It works gently. It plants ideas like seeds in the mind. Those seeds may not grow immediately, but once they are planted, they begin influencing the direction of your life in ways that slowly unfold over time. Another strange but fascinating effect of this alignment is the way it heightens sensitivity to energy around you. You may notice certain environments affecting your mood more strongly than usual. Crowded or chaotic places might feel overwhelming. On the other hand, peaceful environments like nature, quiet rooms, or calm music may feel incredibly comforting. This happens because Neptune dissolves the invisible boundaries between individuals and their surrounding. You become more aware of emotional atmospheres that normally go unnoticed. For some people, this can also mean becoming aware of the emotional energy of others. You may sense when someone near you is struggling emotionally even if they say nothing about it. Your empathy may grow stronger, but this sensitivity also requires balance. While compassion is a beautiful gift, it is important not to absorb the burdens of everyone around you. Neptune teaches compassion, but the sun reminds us to maintain awareness of our own strength and identity. As this alignment reaches its peak, many people may experience a moment of realization that feels deeply personal. It might arrive during a quiet moment late at night, during a walk, or even in the middle of an ordinary conversation. Something suddenly clicks in your mind. You may realize that a certain fear has been limiting your choices for years. You may realize that you have been more capable than you believed. Or you may recognize that a chapter of your life is slowly coming to an end so that another one can begin. These realizations are rarely dramatic to outside observers, but internally they can feel like turning a key that unlocks a new level of understanding, and that is the true power of the sun meeting Neptune. It is not about external chaos or shocking predictions. It is about inner awakening. It is about the moment when the light of awareness enters the deepest ocean of the subconscious and reveals truths that were always there, waiting patiently to be seen. By the time March 14 arrives and the sun begins moving away from Neptune's exact position, the atmosphere will slowly start returning to normal. The emotional fog will lift, thoughts will feel clearer, daily routines will regain their familiar rhythm. But something inside many people will have quietly shifted. You may find yourself thinking differently about certain relationships. You may notice your priorities changing in subtle ways. You may feel less interested in things that once distracted you and more interested in things that feel meaningful. And this is how Neptune often works. It does not always create sudden changes that the entire world can see. Instead, it changes the direction of the current beneath the surface of your life. Weeks or even months from now, you may look back at this period and realize that something important began here. A realization, a healing, a dream that started forming quietly in your mind. And during this rare alignment of the Sun and Neptune between March 12 and March 14, that moment of reflection may arrive for more people than we realize. So stay aware of what you feel during these days. Pay attention to the thoughts that appear when everything becomes quiet. Notice the dreams that linger in your memory when you wake up. Because sometimes the most powerful messages from the universe are not written across the sky for everyone to see. Sometimes they are written quietly inside your own awareness. And when you finally read that message clearly, you may realize that this cosmic moment was never just about the movement of planets. And as the sun slowly moves past Neptune after March 14, the fog in the sky will begin to lift, but the realizations you receive during this time may stay with you for much longer. So pay attention to your intuition, your dreams, and the quiet messages appearing around you. And if this message resonated with you, let me know in the comments below what signs you've been noticing lately. Sometimes the universe speaks in whispers, and only those who are listening can hear it.